The grand chandelier blazed above like a crown of captured sunlight, scattering golden fire across the polished marble floor of the mansion's ballroom. Every guest stilled as its glow touched them. The perfume of Paris roses thick in the air, dresses glittering, suits pressed sharp as knives. This was not just a gathering, it was a performance of privilege. And at the center of the stage stood Adri Moro, a man whose name carried both fortune and spectacle. On that crisp afternoon, he did what he always did best. He made jaws drop. Adrien raised his hand, for black unlimited credit cards gleaming between his fingers. With a faint smile, he gave them away, one by one, 2 for women in gowns that shimmered like liquid jewels. The room gasped in unison. Power had been shown, wealth displayed. Yet, what followed next did not come from Adrien, nor from the women who now held wealth without limit. It came from the quiet maid in the corner, her yellow cleaning gloves still clinging to her hands. Sophia Lavigne. For nearly 2 years, she had moved through Adrian's mansion like a shadow. Always polite, always silent, invisible. To most, she was part of the furniture, another fixture in this world of marble and chandeliers. But Sophia carried within her something stronger than diamonds and far heavier than gold. She was a mother, a widow, a survivor. Her husband had died in a factory accident, leaving her to raise her 8-year-old son, Elias, alone. She worked until her hands ached, often eating less so her boy could eat more, saving coins and secret hopes that maybe, just maybe, she could build him a future brighter than her own. And so, while the guests admired Adrian's show of excess, Sophia quietly cleared glasses at the back, her heart tightening. Not with envy, but with sorrow. How many children, she wondered, went hungry tonight while fortunes like this were tossed into the air like a game? She tried to bury the thought, to remind herself that maids were meant to serve, not to think. But Adrian's eyes caught hers. Just for a second, and something shifted. The 4 women clutched their cards as if holding the keys to kingdoms. One spoke of a villa in the south of France, another of jewels brighter than any queen's, another of wardrobes that would never end. Their voices danced with delight, shallow and gleaming. Adrien smirked, and his voice cut through the air. "And you, mate?" he asked. "What would you do if I gave one to you?" The ballroom froze. Every guest turned toward Sophia. The women's painted smiles twisted into sneers of amusement, as if the very thought of a maid holding such power was a joke. Sophia's hands trembled around the tray. She wanted to lower her head, to fade into the silence she had lived in for so long. But then she saw her son in her Mendelius, thin and hopeful, asking her why others had so much, while he had so little. She lifted her eyes, and with a voice soft but steady, Sophia said she would not take the card for herself. She would use it to build a shelter, a home for children who had none, a place for mothers cast aside with nowhere to go, a refuge for the hungry, the lost, the forgotten. She spoke of warm meals, safe beds, laughter returning to children who had forgotten how to smile. Her words were not polished, not elegant. They trembled, raw and real. The room held its breath. The women shifted uneasily, clutching their cards tighter, afraid someone might strip them away. Adrian's smirk faded, replaced by something unfamiliar even to him. He had expected greed. He had expected desperation. Instead, he was struck by a truth so pure it cut through years of shallow excess. The chandelier above seemed to glow brighter. Days passed. The 4 women used their cards for trips, jewels, luxuries. Their laughter was loud but hollow. Adrien, however, found himself restless. Sophia's words haunted him. He sought her out, first with curiosity, then with sincerity. He asked her about her dream, about the shelter she spoke of. Hesitant at first, Sophia shared her vision. She told him of the abandoned warehouse she passed each evening on her way home. She dreamed of painting its walls with color, filling it with small beds, hot meals, books, and a playground where children could run free. She spoke with the quiet fire of someone who had nothing, yet dared to imagine everything. One morning, Adrien called a press conference, but instead of flaunting a new business venture or a rare art piece, he stunned the world. He announced he would fund a new community shelter not designed by architects or consultants, but inspired by a maid who dreamed beyond her station. Cameras flashed. Reporters leaned forward. For the first time, Adrien spoke not as a millionaire seeking admiration, but as a man touched by truth. Months later, the shelter stood tall, its walls painted with colors chosen by the children themselves, laughter echoing inside. Sophia stood at the entrance on opening day, tears streaming as Elias ran across the new playground with other children, his laughter unburdened at last. Mothers cried as they received meals, and joy returned to those who had been living in despair. Adrien was there, too, not as the untouchable host of wealth, but as a man reborn, realizing that true riches were never measured in cards, gowns, or jewels. They were measured in lives touched, in hunger eased, in laughter reborn. And for the first time, Adrien Morrow understood everything did not have a price. Some things were priceless.